Pro Evolution Soccer, or PES, is still a quality world football experience, but the question for any gamer who cares enough to even deliberate is it better than FIFA 13? Now, as an avid sports gamer, it's really hard to play two different versions of the same sport. Most people generally just pick the one that they think is the best, and then that title becomes the version they play the most. Now, there's no question FIFA 13 is going to win the sales battle this year. But you got to ask yourself, are the people that are not giving PES 2013 even a look, are they missing out? Now, I love FIFA 13, and if you saw my review that I posted earlier, you know that's the case. However, I did put in some substantial time with Pro Evolution Soccer 2013 over the last couple days, and here's my take on Konami's World Football title. The graphics and animation now, just taking a look at the player models, they're pretty decent. As a matter of fact, the facial renders are okay. A little bit kind of a bland look in some instances. Some of the players, in terms of their bodies, do appear to be a little short and squatty. This is more of like a stylistic preference than an actual issue. There's nothing I would say about the player models that are horrible, but I wouldn't say that they're excellent either. So it's kind of a down the middle of the line kind of a deal with the player models in terms of the faces. Now, from a distance though, Pro Evolution Soccer is quite impressive. The lighting effects accurately depict a gloomy day on the pitch as well as a bright and sunny one. Now, since the most practical camera views are set like away from the action, World Football really offers the best TV style appeal of any sport in a video game, basically. And this is clearly a strong suit for Pro Evolution Soccer. In some instances, the animations to me are a bit choppy. The torsos seem to stay a bit too upright and stiff at all times. It's a little variance of the sway in the player's arms while they're running could really make the motions appear more natural. This isn't like a major snafu, but it is noticeable during certain close-ups, of which PES 2003 offers you a lot of those. So that said, the player models are at least at the level gamers would expect, but there just isn't anything special that really stands out in this area. Now, one issue that I do have is with ball physics. The ball just doesn't seem to have the life and bounce that it should. There are a few gameplay enhancements in this year's version that I'll get into a little bit later, but those enhancements should have impacted the aspect of the game a little bit more for ball physics, but they didn't. Because of that issue, that kind of it's what, in my opinion, has kept this series lagging a little bit. It's not solely that, but definitely that's part of it. For the bottom line of the graphics and animation, the highlight of it is the lighting and the stadium presentation. But the combination, it really makes for a breathtaking, moments during the game. I mean, you're just looking at it gives you that double take effect, like, wow, is this really a game? But the closer examination reveals the few small lags behind the competition, namely FIFA. So it kind of pulls the visual aspect of the game back a little bit. For the gameplay and realism, now with passing and defense, defending and moving the ball are the most important parts of any world football game. Now, aside from the aforementioned ball physics issue, this isn't really a big negative for PES. There are still several types of passes that can be made to set up teammates, and there's still a substantial allowance to defend as well. However, the canned animations have gotten to the point where they're outdated. You're seeing the same animation take place with every successful tackle, leaves the game lagging behind in that respect. Now, this is to be expected without any really majorly updated physics engine, but it is hard not to compare the game to FIFA 13 in this and almost every other aspect. Setting your defensive line, though, has received a boost in this version of the series. Through the tactical precision, you can control whether you charge forward or fall back to defend. It's a strategic add-in, but it takes a while to master. Then there's the new player ID feature, which is really designed to give each player his own style of dribble and shoot moves. Once you master the art of dribbling in PES, this feature can actually make for some great sequences. The dribbling system is not for a beginner though. It's pretty steep learning curve there, and if you're unfamiliar with the series, it may take you some time to get that aspect of it down. But when you do, it is a bit rewarding. Now, the dynamic first touch does add something to the gameplay. It forces you to kind of predict the caroms after passes and tackles, and it's really an important feature that both FIFA and PES has put in. I do think that FIFA's first touch control is a little sharper. Shooting is unchanged for the most part and pretty standard as world football games go. Now, I do enjoy the headers in the game. Off the pass, you can feel the amount of control that you have for the destination of the ball off the header, assuming that you do have a player who actually excels in that aspect of the game. The bottom line here in regards to gameplay is this is solid, but at this point, a less than spectacular gameplay experience. And that's simply because of the expectations being set abroad. Now, the ball physics issue is a problem, as well as the learning curve for the controls. And it's just that overall lacking of a true physics engine holds this game back from being more noteworthy in regards to gameplay.
I wish I played with somebody like that. Just give him the ball and let him go on a run. What quality!
The sound and presentation. Now, this is clearly the worst aspect of the game this year. The commentators are John Champion and Jim Beglin, and most of their commentary is generic and really easy to tune out. While it isn't the worst commentating in the sports video game genre, it definitely doesn't rank with the likes of NBA 2K13, MLB The Show, and yes, FIFA in this regard. Now, the in-game sounds are appropriate and standard, but the crowd sound is really amazing. The different locations have signature chants and the drums to create the feeling of watching a match in these locations. That really does add to the personality of each venue. But missing the licenses is a big deal. Part of FIFA's dominance is because of their exclusive hold to several key licenses. In PES, clubs like Manchester City are replaced with clubs with alternate names. Man City is replaced by Man Blue. Most of the players are there, but the kits, the name, and pageantry around the clubs is absent. The English Premier League is called the English League, and there are other notable absences. Now, that said, though, you can edit logos, club names, and player names to everything in the game. You can even free draw emblems and badges for clubs and import and export your creations and edits amongst the PES community. Now, I actually love this type of customization, and developers could save on licenses by allowing gamers to do this in all sports games. The only problem with this is that many gamers won't even bother. They'll just automatically gravitate to the game with the licenses already there for them. The menus and overlays. Now, when FIFA does a good number, they do have a good number of major licenses. The PES is the exclusive owner of the UEFA Championship license. Now, those matches are presented with great pageantry, and the same can be said for the Copa Santander matches as well. The menu system is pretty easy to follow, and it really doesn't change in those types of matches either. But the soundtrack is really annoying. I do love the Coldplay track, When I Rule the World. I'm a big Coldplay fan, but that's really kind of the exception here. If you measure out the balance between crowd noise and commentating, it really isn't there. But the customization options do kind of save it, and that's the reason why I gave it 7.5 in this category. Were it not for the customization options, it would have been lower. Now, taking a look at the game modes and options. Now, if you're looking to jump right into a tournament style action, you can do that. If you actually want to choose to pursue like glory in either of the two prestigious leagues, you can do that too. The gameplay and commentary isn't altered very much, but there are a few nice cutscenes to drive home the importance of the matches. The training aspect is a tutorial here. It's basically broken into two parts: performance training and free training. Now, completing those drills will drive home, just how difficult the advanced and basic maneuvers can be in this game. But I would advise you spending some time in this mode if you're planning to play this game, and if you're new to the series. Then there's Football Life. Now this mode contains Master League and Become a Legend. Master League allows gamers to take control of any club. You got to manage everything from the club transfers, finances, on-field strategy, and your reputation as a manager. The story is driven by cutscenes, and they're a nice touch. It brings Master League and Become a Legend more personality than many of the career modes. Now, one problem is the cutscenes don't have voices, and the dialogue is driven by subtitles. Now, I don't have a problem reading, but this is yet like another aspect that just seems a bit behind the competition. Most games would have voiceovers for these types of cutscenes. PES doesn't. In Become a Legend, you take control of like a created player or an existing player. You're charged with leading your club to glory, and along the way, you get to request transfers, unlock items, and receive feedback for your performance. Master League is available online, though. The matchmaking system has been improved, and it's now like a rivals ranking system, and it makes it easier to keep track of local PES players and the people that you've already competed against in the past. The entire community is split into 240 different cities across the world, and that is a pretty huge gaming circle for a world football title that only a world football title could provide. Now, the bottom line here is that there's a standard number of options available, but there's nothing really innovative. The modes in Football Life could use some more juice, but the UEFA license is a nice touch and a nice draw that the series has. Overall, this isn't a perfect world football game, but it is a good one. The problem this title and franchise continues to have is that its primary competition is so strong. FIFA 13 is a great game, and that fact does PES 2013 shine. Now, were it not for FIFA 13, the world of virtual footballers would play PES 2013 and they'd be happy about it. But that isn't the case, and because of that, another strong effort isn't likely to be fully appreciated. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace. Subscribe.